A woman finally tracks down her car, but get this, only to find it is sold to somebody else. Good evening and thanks for joining us for Queen 6 News at 10. I'm Elizabeth Dinh.
I'm Jeff Gianola. Here's a bizarre case of a stolen car here in the Portland metro area getting sold to a local used car dealership only to later get sold to someone in Hawaii, and no one was the wiser. We sent Elise Haas to find out. How is that possible?
Well, what makes this story sound even stranger is that the dealership and the DMV didn't break any laws here.
The system we have in place to catch stolen vehicles is surprisingly inadequate.
Lauren Murdoch learned this lesson the hard way. Her 99 Subaru was stolen in November of 2021, unfortunately with a title to her car and other personal documents inside. She reported the vehicle stolen to the police and to the Oregon DMV the next day. After more than a year goes by, without her car being found, she gives up hope and goes to the DMV to recover her title, only to find out her car was listed in the DMV's database at Blue Line Auto Group, a used car dealership in Southeast Portland, only 2 weeks after it was stolen.
So the DMV had the information, and if they would have just notified me, when they got the information, I could have recovered my car.
Lauren's car did not get flagged because, according to Oregon law, the DMV is only required to run a car's VIN number to check if it's stolen when someone comes in to transfer a car title into someone else's name.
It blows my mind that they're not legally required to do that. And it's crazy that the DMV won't notify somebody if their stolen car is entered into their system.
The owner of the used car dealership, who was duped by the thieves, was also shocked to learn this.
If a car can be popped around from my dealer inventory, sitting there for 3 or 4 months, go across the ocean, and then be licensed in Hawaii, and the DMV in Hawaii doesn't catch this, the DMV in Oregon doesn't catch this, the shipping company doesn't catch this, that has to be fixed.
Dustin Van Duver has been in the used car business for more than 2 decades. He's required to enter cars' VIN numbers into his account with the DMV. All these years, he says, he thought the DMV system was making sure these cars were legitimate.
And if we enter this into a DMV website, this should flag immediately. This should pop up. There should be some way that we can enter a VIN number somewhere to where we can know instantly if a car is reported stolen in that moment.
Lauren hopes that this sad story of her stolen car can open people's eyes.
It's a tragedy that Oregon being having such a problem with vehicle theft hasn't addressed this issue on a more systemic level. I would really just like our legislators and ODOT to understand that we can do better. We can make a better net to catch the vehicle theft.
Currently, there is a patchwork of statewide and national databases for stolen cars that DMVs use, but they're not fully universalized across America, nor fully required. So if someone in Oregon had bought her car from Dustin's dealership and then tried to transfer the title at an Oregon DMV, then it would have been flagged. But because it was bought from somebody outside of Oregon, it didn't raise any red flags. When I talked to officials at the DMV about this, they recognize that Oregon is one of the worst states in the nation for car theft. And the rep said to me, when there is a stolen vehicle, people try to point blame, but the bottom line is there are bad people and they're smart. And sometimes there's nothing you can do to stop them from getting away with it. Now, Lauren, of course, acknowledges that her part in all of this, basically because she left her title, in the car at that time, and she does want to remind people. I mean, that is why you don't do that for this very reason.
Yeah, folks forget that title's like having gold in your hand. You know, but still, something needs to be done to fix the system. Enter a VIN number, like the car dealer said.
Yeah, and so I reached out to Hawaii, and even in Hawaii, they don't have a universal system. They have a Honolulu one, they have a Kauai one. And it's one of those things where there isn't a nationwide database, and so that's why it's a little bit easier once you cross state lines.
All right, great story, Elise. Thank you.
Elise, thank you so much. All right, we've got a